Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Justin, and for this video I'm doing something a little bit different that I'm super excited about. I'm gonna build a guitar. Alright, so before we get started, I just want to make some first impression comments on this. I am super excited about this. This is the Solo Guitars Spalted Maple Top Les Paul model. The spalted maple top, the veneer looks beautiful. Look at how cool that is. Also, that headstock has the same sort of design that you've got on the body. It's got these nice trapezoid inlays. But yeah, overall, I think this feels great. It's got some nice heft to it. It's got some cutouts on the back already, so no routing or cutting needed if you don't want to. Holes all drilled, ready to go. Let's do it. Alright, so first step was to sand down any rough spots and carve out the headstock before starting to stain or paint. Here are a couple quick shots of me carving out that headstock. I just wanted something a little more unique than what was the standard stock design coming out of the box. I actually tried staining first, and I wasn't a huge fan of the results, so I ultimately ended up deciding to paint it. So after everything was painted black, I used sandpaper on the front and the back and the headstock of the guitar to kind of create this almost tiger stripe pattern. And that was a fun pattern to make, so I'm really happy with the way the design ended up on that. After the stripes were sanded off, I wanted the color of the exposed wood to be a little bit warmer, so I took a sort of light rose-colored stain and spread it across the entire guitar, just to give it a little more warmth than what the original color had. And you can see here it sort of has a little more of a red-pink hue instead of just that straight tan. And it was around this time that I decided that I wanted only the front of the guitar to have this pattern, so here's me sanding all of that work right off. And this is how the guitar was looking before connecting the neck to the body. Here's the guitar after connecting the neck to the body. It just took some wood glue and some C-clamps. Here are a couple shots of spraying that clear coat on there. You can see I had my mask ready to go from the pandemic. And here's the guitar hanging in my garage for a couple days, letting that clear coat dry out. One thing I forgot to take a picture of before the clear coat was the headstock of the guitar. What I ended up doing was taking some wood putty and one of those wax stamps that people used to use to seal envelopes, and create sort of an insignia on the top there. And since my last name's Blair, I put a B on the top of the guitar there. So after that clear coat was all dried off, I sanded it down to a flatter finish, starting with a more coarse grit sandpaper, and I think I ended up at 3000 grit. And then taking some turtle wax to give it a final buff, both to give it a protective layer and also to give it that final gloss sheen. And after all that, the last thing to do was just to add the hardware and electronics. I probably should have taken some more videos about that part, but I didn't, so this is what we got. What was really nice about this kit was that most of the electronics were already pre-soldered, so there was very little electronics work that had to be done on it. Also, all the holes and cavities were already pre-routed and pre-drilled, so all you had to really do was grab a screwdriver and some glue and put everything on where it's supposed to go. Alright guys, so here is the final product. I am so psyched with how this turned out. There are definitely a few things that if I were to do it again, I would do things differently. I made plenty of mistakes, and there are a few things here and there that I'd maybe just try a different approach to if I were to do it again. But so far, I am really, really psyched about this. Took quite a while, but since we were all stuck inside during quarantine, had enough time. I want to note a couple hardware improvements I made to this, just in comparison to the Solo stock hardware that comes with the kit. I'll put links in the description of this video to all the hardware, the kit, all the other materials I used. So in case you want to use any of these products, feel free to check out the links in the description to find those. First thing I added was this tremolo system. I think it was just a cheap one from eBay. Anyone who's seen me play knows that I love dive bombs and tremolos and all that sort of stuff, so that was definitely a must-have for this thing. When I first finished the guitar, I was having some tuning stability issues, so to kind of help fix that, I put on three things here. The first is this rolling bridge, that's supposed to help with the tremolo system as well. The second is this graphite nut, instead of the plastic one that comes with the kit. And then the third one are these locking tuners here. I also tend to put a bandana on all my guitars. Not really an improvement, except during COVID. It can count as your mask, so there you go, dual use. When I first got the kit, the neck had some like glue spots on it where the paint or stain wouldn't really adhere to it. I emailed Solo about it and they shipped out a new neck right away, so huge props to the customer service department at Solo. They got this out here right away and I didn't really have to like slow down with the build at all, so that was great. Speaking of the neck, one thing I really like about these Solo guitars is they've got this curved heel at the bottom of the neck there. I don't know how well you can see that, but it curves there, in comparison to most guitars that have a more symmetrical heel down on the bottom there. And that's super helpful just to kind of reach those very top notes without your hand being blocked by that part of the heel. Alright, so I guess all that's left to do is to plug this in and see how it sounds. If you've gotten this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to try out something new that I've never done before. Please feel free to hit like and subscribe and check out the rest of the channel for more music-related content. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go.